If you're still doing every single task in your short-term rental business by hand, writing the listings, chasing the numbers, answering every review yourself, I want to show you the 7 places I have quietly handed the heavy lifting over to AI and how it gave me my time back without ever giving up control. I'm Stacey St. John. I host the STR Sisterhood podcast. I wrote the co-host code, and I help women build short-term rental and co-hosting businesses that run like real companies instead of second jobs. Across my own portfolio of dozens of properties, these 7 AI workflows are the ones I actually reach for month after month. If you're here to build a business that gives you freedom instead of overwhelm, go ahead and subscribe so this kind of thing keeps showing up in your feed. And here's the thread that ties all 7 of these together. Every result I'm about to show you comes down to one skill: how well you prompt AI. Weak prompts give you generic, useless stuff. Strong prompts give you something you can actually run your business on. And I've put my entire framework for prompting well into a free download called Prompt Like a Pro. And the link is waiting for you in the description below. Grab it first because it is what makes everything else in this video work. All right, let's get into it. Number 1, I use AI to understand who my guest really is. And I don't mean her age or her zip code. Demographics tell you that a 38-year-old mom from 2 states over booked your place. They never tell you why. The why lives underneath, and I map it with what I call the iceberg method. 3 layers. Layer 1 is what your ideal guest avatar is doing. She's opening 10 tabs, reading the worst reviews first, zooming in on the bathroom photos. Layer 2 is what she's asking herself. Will check-in be a hassle? Is this place actually going to be clean? And am I going to regret booking this? And layer 3, the part almost nobody writes for, is what she's feeling. The quiet fear that she'll let her family down by picking the wrong place. That anticipatory stress is what drives the entire decision. So I prompt AI to act like a guest psychology expert and walk me through all 3 layers for my specific property and my specific guest. What comes back is not a tidy marketing persona. It is a map of her fears and her hopes. And once I can see those clearly, I know exactly what my listing has to say to put those fears to rest. Number 2, once I know what she's afraid of, I use AI to write copy that pulls her in, what I call the trust magnet method. 3 moves. First, I flip features into feelings. Nobody books a coffee bar, my friends. They book that quiet cup of coffee on the porch before the kids wake up. So I hand AI my amenity list and ask it to translate each amenity into the moment it actually creates. Second, I ditch the hype. Words like amazing, perfect, and luxury do not reassure a cautious guest. They trigger her skepticism. I ask AI to swap every hype word for grounded, believable language. Easy, smooth, landed, exactly as shown. Third, I position myself as the good provider, the host who makes her feel smart and safe for choosing me. Your listing is not a brochure, it is emotional insurance. And here's the rule I never break, so hear me on this. AI writes the draft, but you are the editor. AI does not get the final word on your voice or your brand. You do. Number 3, and this one is the heartbeat of everything I teach: data over drama. Every single month, I track each property in my portfolio in one spreadsheet: gross revenue, average daily rate, occupancy, length of stay, booking lead time, every fee, all the way down to net. On the second tab, I track conversion. How often I am landing on page 1 of Airbnb search results, how many people who see the listing click into it, and how many who click into it actually book. Then I do the thing most hosts never do. I hand that whole report to AI and ask it to find the story for me. Where am I leaving money on the table? Which property's lead time is shrinking? So I adjust my pricing now, not next month. It turns a wall of numbers into 2 or 3 clear moves I can make this week. In my favorite tab, I track my own hours, time spent working in the business versus time spent working on the business. Because my goal was never to be the busiest technician in the building. The goal is to be the CEO of a thriving real estate and hospitality company. And AI helps me see in black and white whether I'm actually getting there. Number 4, I use AI to study my competition, not to copy them, but to find the gaps they're leaving wide open. Here's the workflow. I pick 3 to 5 real competitors in my short-term rental market, and I pull their guest reviews, the recent detailed ones, 20 to 50 of them. I paste them into AI along with a short description of my ideal guest, and I ask it to find the patterns. What do guests consistently praise? What do they complain about over and over? And what do they actually care about underneath of all of it? Within seconds, I can see maybe every place in my market has the same broken communication, or nobody is solving the one thing my guest is most anxious about. That complaint they keep making about my competitors, that's my opening. I lead with the exact thing they are missing right in my title and my photos. Find the gaps, stand out boldly, and win your market. Now, quick gut check before we keep rolling. Of everything we've covered so far, I want to know which one you need the most right now. Your guest psychology, your listing copy, your data, or your competition. Drop the number in the comments. I read them and it tells me exactly what video to make for you next. Number 5, writing review responses, especially the hard ones. Here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. Sometimes a guest leaves a review with things in it that are simply not true. And your instinct, because you pour your heart into your short-term rental business, is to defend yourself. Don't fall into that trap, because the response to that review is never for the guest who wrote it. It's for the next potential guest reading it, deciding whether or not she can trust you. So I bring it to AI. I explain what actually happened, and I ask for a reply that's calm, professional, completely unemotional, and that quietly sets the facts straight. No defensiveness, no heat, just a steady, factual response that makes the next reader think, this is exactly the kind of host I want. AI is brilliant here for one simple reason. It is not the one who got the unfair review. It can stay calm in the exact moment when you have trouble doing so. Number 6, review mining. And this one quietly protects your revenue. One bad review is a single data point, but a trend hiding across 200 reviews, that's a problem you cannot afford to miss. 3 different guests over 3 months gently mention the mattress. Another one says the TV was finicky. On their own, every one of these is easy to wave off. But put together, they are telling you something needs to be fixed before it quietly starts costing you stars. So I use AI to read across all of my reviews at once and surface the patterns I would never catch one at a time. The review tool I use, Riva, actually has this AI built right in. It flags the recurring themes for me automatically. You don't have Riva? That's okay, just paste them into ChatGPT. Either way, the move is the same. Let AI listen to all the feedback from all of your guests so a small, fixable issue never grows into a 1-star surprise. And number 7, this is the one that turns a busy host into an actual business owner. Building your 3 Ps, your policies, your processes, and your procedures. This is the engine that lets the work get done without you in the middle of every single decision. Here's the rule worth tattooing on the wall. If it happens twice, write a procedure. And there are 3 layers people blur together constantly, just calling them SOPs. A policy is the law. It's what we do. No parties. Refunds only for issues reported within the first 24 hours. A process is the map, how the work moves from one step to the next. And a procedure is the turn-by-turn directions, the exact click-by-click steps to actually get specific work done. Policy is the rule, process is the map, and procedure is the directions. Writing all of these used to take me forever. Now I just talk through what I do, how I do a task, and hand it to AI. It drafts the policy, the process, and the procedure for me, so my team can run it without me hovering over them. That right there is what freedom actually looks like. The 7 ways I put AI to work in my short-term rental business. knowing my guest's real psychology, writing copy that earns her trust, turning my numbers into moves, studying the competition for gaps, responding to reviews without emotion, mining those reviews for hidden trends, and building the 3 Ps that let the whole business run without me. But notice the one thread tying every single one of those together. None of it works if your prompts are weak. Garbage in, garbage out. The single highest leverage skill you can build this year is learning to prompt well. And I have packed my entire framework for prompting into a free download called Prompt Like a Pro. It's waiting for you in the description below. Go download it, then come right back and run these 7 plays for yourself. And if this helped you, subscribe and stay close. This is exactly the kind of work we do together around here. I'm Stacey St. John, and remember, lead with data, not drama, and I'll see you in the next video.